everybody. We have another incredible entrepreneur, and this one flew in from Chicago today, so I'm so excited to introduce everybody to Rae Luskin from The Winning Adventure. Rae, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad I could come and meet you in person.
I know, and you're going to stay for a red carpet event.
I know.
So
yes, 2 things on my vision board.
This is
perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do.
I'm a speaker, an author, and a coach. And I just finished a new book called The Creative Activist, Make the World Better, One Person, One Action at a Time.
I love that.
Thank you. And it's such a personal book. I interviewed over 120 leaders around the country. In the book, I highlight 36 people.
Okay.
And it's a personal development meets leadership. So there's 3 questions for every story, and then a take action step, because you can't be an activist unless you're taking action.
Very true. The word in activist is action. So
exactly. So this has been my passion project and taking it forward. So
fantastic. And so what inspired you to follow that path and create that book?
There were a couple of things. I had finished, for a long time, I'm an expert in using creativity for healing, social change, building resilience, and self-esteem. And I had my own art school called Art and Soul Connections. And I wrote the book, Art from My Heart, and I published it in 2010. And then I said, no, I didn't want to teach kids anymore. I didn't really want to work with families in the same way. And so I listened for this whisper. I'm big into trusting your intuition and listening to that inner voice. And it said interview leaders. And I'm like, what? Me? Why? Why would anybody listen to me? And then I realized I actually, I learned my leadership from being a volunteer. Okay. So, that's where I've been a volunteer for 40 years. And so it was like, okay, start interviewing people. And I interviewed 120 people. And then I had taken a class at it. They said, think about what book could you talk about for the next 3 years. Creative activist. Because as a creative, I wrote 3 books at the same time. So I'm busy writing 3 things at once. And I'm like, okay, got to pick a pony and ride it.
Right.
And so I did, and within a year, I got it published, and I'm on my road, and I've got it's really exciting because I'm doing a retreat in September, and I part of the creative activist, you have to partner. Collaboration is a big piece, and especially as an entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur, and as a creative, you tend to be in your room a lot. You're by yourself working. And so I partnered with a group called Northwest CASA, which is a sexual assault agency, and they provide free services to survivors and their families. And so 10% of everything I raise is going to them. And my official book launch will be at a program called Walk in Her Shoes, where men actually walk in high heels to support women who've been violently assaulted.
Wow, that is brilliant. One of the things that I love that you said, you talked about how you learned about leadership from volunteering, and I've done production and worked with large troops to put on events throughout my career, and what I always found is the people that were, at the top, that were getting paid the top tier, were the hardest to manage. And then the people that were there volunteering, they weren't getting paid, they were working their weekend, they probably paid to put themselves up there, were generally the hardest working people. Right. So I love that you came from that side of things to create this leadership study and get that message out.
Right. It's really important. And the other piece, as I said, is creativity. And because creativity saved my life. Really the 2 did. I was sexually abused as a child from age 7 to 13. And I never told anybody. And so eventually when I was 21, I went to therapy for the first time. And I was in traditional talk therapy for a really long time. And I got to that place where I was surviving. But I wasn't thriving. And I was miserable. I was married, I had 2 kids, but I felt like I was living this life. Anybody knew me, they'd run away. I still felt defective, and there was something wrong with me, and I suffered from depression. And once I did find one therapist who said, well, why don't you draw what you're feeling? Because I'd always been an artist as a kid, even though I hadn't done anything in like 12 years. So I started to scribble some doodles, and I started to feel this release. Oh my God, I feel better. The pain, just releasing it, and then I was journaling, and then I started painting everything that had happened to me in a very realistic format. And I just noticed this incredible weight was lifted from my shoulders, and I started to heal in a whole different way, and I was really thriving.
Wow.
So that's really what informed Art and Soul Connections, was taking those gifts and using them with someone else, because people could say, you look so much better. Wow, you're different. What happened?
Yeah, sure.
So, I shared those gifts with people. people. And the other piece of it was the service, which I've been doing partly because my family, I'm Jewish, and the background is it's all Tikkun Olam, which is repair the world. Okay. And so it was modeled to me, you're a philanthropist. And so I'd always done that, but then I never really found my own passion until I started working with two organizations that worked with women who had been sexually assaulted and trying to change the message, because I believe that is part of my mission, is to make a world safe for women and children. And to do that, I had to find that group, and I did, and it was like, wow. And it doesn't matter what pain you're in, I mean, we've all have challenges, and it's the idea, what are you going to do about it?
Sure.
What choice are you going to make? And instead of saying, why me, say, what can I do to help somebody else?
I love that. It's funny because I do coaching with people, and sometimes I'll get a call from a new client, and they'll say, well, do you have experience working with someone with this challenge? And I always try to explain it doesn't matter what your issue is. I've worked with all kinds of issues. It's how do you get over it? How do you take whatever happened to you, frame it differently, and move forward?
Right, and it's so much about the story. What is you reframing that story and allowing the fears to surface and move beyond them, and using them to shift your paradigm.
Yes.
Because if we don't do that, then we're stuck. I know for me, for years, it was like, it's not a safe world. So that affected me physically, because then I kept on an extra 60 pounds, and it kept me from relationships in an intimate way. And then once I released that story, it was like, oh my God, my world just opened up.
Yes.
And anybody can do that. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with cancer or divorce or addictions. It's the same process.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you must, being a creative, have a lot of goals and visions. I know you have a vision board.
Right.
You shared that when you walked in. But so, what is kind of your vision of where you want to take your business and your practice?
Okay. For me, I say this every day. I noticed your Napoleon Hill book right there, and Think and Grow Rich, and you have to have that main aim and desire.
Yes.
And every day I say, I am a successful, influential ambassador of peace, love, joy, and healing through service and creative expression. And so I want to see more of that. I want to present that to the world. There's part of my vision is having a TV show, sort of a Shark Bite kind of thing, or Shark Tank, and Shark Bite, yeah. Well, that's my dress, not my show. But you have this show, but it's more about people coming out and presenting. I have this great idea how I can change the world, how I can make it better. And they don't have to be big ideas, it's little ideas, but I'd love to be able to have grant money available to them. I think that is how I can help serve and create new conversations.
Sure.
Without those kind of conversations, nothing changes, and we have to look at the world as on us. And part of my message is little things. It's how you relate to one person. You smile and say, how was your day?
Yes.
And you have a ripple effect, and it doesn't have to be a foundation. So many people think, I can't do anything because I can't quit my job. I have responsibilities. I got to take care of my kids, my parents, whatever. But you can still do something. And you can be a role model, a mentor, a volunteer.
Right. Yeah, it is the little steps. And even we had a conversation before the show started, and you asked how the show started, and it was literally an idea. And then you take a step forward, and then it becomes something more real, and then you get people engaged. And, and I've seen so many people, clients that I've worked with, do amazing things in the world from an idea.
Right.
And taking an action or being creative about it.
Right. And I think a vision is really imperative. And I'm a really big picture thinker, and so people are like, I could never go there, but I can see it for them, and I think that's what I hold a lot of times for them, is a bigger picture from what they can do.
Yes.
So it was interesting, as one man I was working with, and he wants to be on Shark Tank, and he has this idea, he created these products. I said, so what is it that you want from them? Well, I don't know. And then we got into a bigger, and he wants to travel, and he wants to be able to share the beauty he sees in the world. He's a healer. He wants to share other cultures and shamans and ideas. And so ultimately, all of a sudden, it was like, oh my God, well, if I'm going to do that, then I need to connect here rather than here.
Right.
And it's like his world changed, and his whole business changed because of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, let's talk about what is your vision, and where do you want it to be, and in 3 years, because so many of us get really short-sighted, and we need that focus and that inspiration, just like your board. Oprah. I got Oprah on mine too, and I also have Eve Ensler, because she's been one of my heroes.
Okay, yeah.
Because of the vagina monologue and creating a world. She started a nonviolence movement a long time ago before it was popular. And so, you know, those visions keep me going forward even during tough times.
Yes.
You know, it's like, as you know, my mom's been ill, and it was like, I had to go to Arizona and take care of her. And my first thought was, well, I can't go and do this, or I got to postpone my retreat. And I said, no, my vision is so strong and powerful. I'm going to continue with the vision. And that's what's keeping me focused. I can still be there for her. I'm just as important, and so is my vision. And that is a key that so many women, especially, like, I'm not that important. I got to worry about them before me. And I think it's not black and white. It's both and.
Right.
One
yes.
minute.
Perfect. Well, I could talk about this all day. This
Yes.
is fascinating. But obviously we're limited on time, so if people are watching and they're interested in working with you or getting in contact with you, what's the best way?
The best way is I have the winningadventure.com, and it's Rae at the Winning Adventure, R-A-E, at the winningadventure.com. And to get my book, I actually have just a book and a retreat information. It's called thecreativeactivist.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for the beautiful work that you do and for flying in. I'm so
Thank
impressed.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Can't wait to see you on the red carpet tomorrow.
I know, me too. Fulfilling my dreams. So I want a picture, and the other thing I'm going to do is go to the UN, because I really want to be a UN ambassador of peace and speak at the UN. So I'm going to get a picture of myself, a selfie at the UN tomorrow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Great. And thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been the Ask Bonbon Show, real conversations about what matters most, where we bring you the people and the tools to create yourself. The conversation doesn't stop here, though. Please come on over and join us on Facebook at Ask Bonbon, and let us know what you think about this show, about other shows, about creativity, anything you want to share. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.